dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs
What up,
you.
y'all? It is cold. I just went for my walk, day 4 in process. Oh my gosh. I was like, what the hell? And then I heard it's supposed to snow on Friday. And I'm like, why? It was so nice for the past few days. I mean, beautiful. Sweating, letting the sun penetrate my hoodie, then to my skin, and just feeling alive. And now I'm like, woohoo, it's cold. But that's all right. No excuses. My glasses are fogging up. But we're going to talk about NXT, April 15th, 2025. Vic, Booker, and Graves on commentary. We are counting down to WrestleMania weekend. Are you excited? Are you ready? So, before we talk about NXT here, because a lot of buildup was for this show, a comeback was made and everything like that. I was just like, woo! Excited about that. Excited about these matches for Stand and Deliver. So, just a pre-warning. I will still drop NXT. I will still drop Dynamite. I'll still drop Collision. I'll still drop Friday Night SmackDown as individual podcasts. Okay? But on Monday, I will do the whole weekend of WrestleMania from Stand and Deliver on WrestleMania Night 1 and 2 as one podcast. That is the plan for now, unless I'm like, oh, I have to get it out. But the plan for now is to go through these next few shows individually and do WrestleMania weekend as a whole for the whole weekend. It's my first time ever doing that. But due to my schedule, due to it being Easter weekend and everything like that, especially with the day job, it's just the way it has to be for now. And like I said, plans could change. I could do individual podcasts for each event. But I thought it would be even better to do a big podcast on Monday for the entire weekend and getting excited for the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. So let's just plan on that, but let's talk about NXT. A lot of stuff happened here to get us excited and ready for the show. We have a North American Championship #1 contenders match. Who's going to win? Wes Lee versus Ethan Page versus Eddie Thorpe versus Lexis King. Who is going to face Ricky Starks, Dan, at Stand and Deliver? My money was on Ethan Page, who did win this match. I feel like it's poetic. It's necessary. I feel like Sean Spears is going to get in the way some way, somehow. We're going to get a Tony fumble chant and everything like that. But I feel like Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks is the way to go. Ethan even cuts a promo after this really awesome 4-way match between all these awesome superstars. And I'm just such a big fan of this Ethan Page. I was a big fan of him in AEW, especially towards the end. That really awesome match he had with MJF for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think Ethan Page is a star. I think Eddie still needs a little bit more work. Lexis King still needs a little bit more work. Wesley, I had a big, like when he was North American champion, really high on him. I feel like he's gone back to square one, and out of all these 4, Ethan shined the most of who's going to face Ricky Starks at Stand and Deliver. And I know these two are going to have one hell of a match. And of course, Ricky repaying the favor after Ethan cuts his promo, taking out Ethan Page. Ricky Starks standing high, holding his championship. Stand and Deliver is where we're headed to next. And this is that go-home show. Then we go into Tatum Paxley versus Lola Vice. I was just happy to see Lola. I see her on Instagram and everything like that. And I'm just like, come back, Lola. I miss you, Lola. Every time I see you, I'm like, yay, Lola Vice. One day she is going to be NXT Women's Champion. I feel it deep down in my bones. I am going to keep rooting for Lola Vice because I think she's hella talented. And with this match, knocking the stank off Tatum Paxley. Yeah, you know what I mean. Tatum. I'm just gonna say Tatum. just knocking her out. I just love Lola's finish. Then we go into a huge tag team gauntlet match. who's going to face Fraxium for those NXT Tag Team Championships. It was a battle, and I got to say the heart and story of this gauntlet was Hank and Tank, and these guys have been having, a rough ride to stand and deliver. They had to get motivated by the Street Profits. They just kept losing, and then they finally found that fire, and that was the underdog in this whole gauntlet match. And I was really surprised too when Hank and Tank got the win. I think well deserved. I think these two are very talented. I love their character. I want to say characters. I just love the energy they bring and everything like that. After finally getting some love from the Street Profits and getting that, pep talk and getting them hyped after really watching this match. And this was an awesome tag team gauntlet match. You can't really go wrong, but Hank and Tank is going to face Fraxium at some certain point. Maybe at Stand and Deliver. I believe at Stand and Deliver. I was watching this show pretty quick, but Hank and Tank, baby. Then we have a parking lot brawl. I'm just cutting to all the good stuff. The family in Dark State. It was filmed cinematically, which I always enjoy with NXT, and it was fun. And they're just beating the hell out of each other. We went through walls, we go through doors, we got pipes, we got fire extinguishers, we got lockers about to be thrown on somebody. It was all out chaos all the way back to the parking lot. And here comes Tony. And I will say the cheesiest part about this is every time he hit somebody with that crowbar, there was a little sound effect. Boop, doop. I was like, I don't think the sound effect was necessary, but I was okay with it. Tony chasing off Dark State. Then the cops are coming. Stax is like, yo, Tony, we got to go. And Tony's like, don't even worry about it. Yeah, so we have a lot with the family taking on Dark State itself. I really did enjoy this parking lot. I enjoy the cinematics. The only cheesy part was when Tony started swinging that crowbar. You heard that little sound effect. Dook, dook. Kel and Uriah is with Mr. Chase. They're trying to get him to teach him the ways of Mr. Chase. Mr. Chase is like, no, I can't do it. I failed. Chase you and everything. And here comes my girl. Oh my gosh. I was so happy to see Thea Hale back. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. And she's going to take on Carmen in a North American qualifier match for the ladder match and everything next. But man, this was really heartfelt. Mr. Chase is like, hey, I can't. And Thea's like, you have my blessing. And Kellen, you're right. Are you coming back? And Thea's like, no, I'm an alumni. And now I must move on. But you have my blessing, Mr. Chase. And it was just a really special moment. And especially for somebody who started actually actively watching NXT right at the end of the 2.0 days, like really catching that in and the Chase U. I remember being like, this is stupid. This is dumb. And then they slowly grew on me. And then when they broke up, I cried. I was like, no, Mr. Chase. And he became a bum. But Kel and Uriah have resparked. And Thea has officially set that ablaze with gasoline and a matchstick to get Mr. Chase off his ass to be Mr. Chase. But Thea Hale takes on Carmen in a back and forth battle. Thea Hale gets the win, and I was like, man, and I love the starting of her theme music. A grown-ass woman. But Thea Hale's going to be in that ladder match, and I was like, man, that ladder match is stacked. I cannot wait until Stand and Deliver. I think it's just going to be a battle amongst these superstars, and I'm pulling for Thea. Out of everybody there, I mean, it's either Thea or I want Soul. It's one of those two that I want to win that North American Championship, but I'm really pulling for Thea. Like, really pulling for Thea. Like, she's the one I'm betting all my money on. Take it, Thea. Take it. A grown-ass woman. They've been going to Oba, Javon, Trick, their final say before their three-way battle for the NXT Championship. Of course it's going to end in a fight. But I did not expect Javon Evans standing tall. That's why he is the thumbnail for this show. It was very strange to see Javon Evans holding that championship above his head. But I was like, you know what? I welcome it. I welcome Javon Evans because I think this kid is very talented. I won't even say kid. He's a superstar, baby. You know, Trick and Oba, I think these two don't really need that championship anymore. They can move up to the main roster, but Javon Evans as NXT champion? Scratching of the chin. I think that would be awesome. But we shall see. You know, Stand and Deliver is going to start right before night one. A whole stacked weekend all the way from Friday Night SmackDown all the way to Monday Night Raw. It is a huge weekend for WWE. And, yeah, I'm just really excited to see where we're going to go here. And that was NXT, April 15, 2025. Vic Booker and Graves on commentary. My match of the night. Oof. I gotta say the tag team gauntlet match, because I really enjoyed the storytelling with Hank and Tank being the underdogs and with the commentary popping every time they got a pin. Oh my God! You know, especially Vic. I love Vic. I really wish Vic can move up to a main roster spot as well, because I really like Vic on commentary. And of course, Booker. Booker T. And I'm really enjoying Corey Graves. This whole trio of this commentary team on NXT is really great. And I remember when Graves went down, people were like, oh, he got demoted. And even Graves had to say something. But I think these three really gel well. And we're going into Stand and Deliver, and I can't wait to hear this team call that show. So honestly, I give this show a solid 5 out of 5. And my moment of the night was Mr. Chase and Thea reuniting, and Thea giving Mr. Chase her blessing, because she's a grown-ass woman. 5 out of 5, NXT, man. Tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Show your grandma, show your grandpa, show the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life.
Here we go. Oh! He impressed me for what he does inside that 20 by 20, that square circle. Here we go.